Dragon Age the Veilguard's game director has removed all of the radical social messaging he has been trying to push in his profile on X. This comes just as the game is about to release a significant gameplay trailer. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com. And Dragon Age the Veilguard game director is a man who claims to be a woman, has described himself as a queerosexual gendermancer, and calls himself Corinne Bush, has removed support for Black Lives Matter and so-called trans rights from his X bio. As noted by former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, Bush previously described himself as a trans woman and a queerosexual gendermancer in his X profile. He also had the hashtag trans rights and hashtag Black Lives Matter in there as well. You can see it right here. That is what his bio looked like as of, I believe, yesterday. It has since been updated. He removed the Dragon Age Dreadwolf logo. Obviously, that makes sense given the fact that the game is now Dragon Age the Veilguard, but has not changed, has not put up a new photo there, and has also removed the trans rights and Black Lives Matter hashtags. Furthermore, he no longer is describing himself as a trans woman or a queerosexual gendermancer. The bio only reads game director of Dragon Age, and obviously the account is still locked, but you can see this is the updated bio on X for the game director of Dragon Age. Kern commented on the change. He said this: Dragon Age game director deletes flags and BLM from bio as soon as the Dragon Age trailer Backlash hit his public values. We got to fix that. We got to get Grums on board so he does not continue to push the lie that these people can indeed change their sex. You cannot change sex from male to female or female to male. There's no such thing as transgender. By actually engaging in this and doing this, you are lying to these people and comforting them in their own delusions and lies where they need to face the truth. And also, I think it signals to other people, aside from the person that he's referring to, that it's okay for these people to be lied to when it is not. But we'll work on that. But nevertheless, he goes on and says his public values suddenly vanished. If DEI and SBI, Sweet Baby Inc. values are great and don't hurt sales, why he hiding them? Wouldn't they just boost sales to the modern audience? That's interesting. Very interesting questions there from Grums. Wouldn't you want to be promoting that, especially during the quote-unquote Pride Month, when you can potentially get people to pre-order and use that to get more people to pre-order, wish list, etc. for your upcoming game? Clearly, this stuff does not sell. And my guess is he was likely told to remove it because it was injuring the sales of the game. And I think the damage has already been done, though. I think a lot of people saw this, but we'll get to this. Scrums goes on and says, we all know gamers and general consumers in America have had enough of the virtue signaling and story sacrifice for cheap and token representation. Pride events by retail chains canceled at Target, Amazon, and far less astroturfing because it does affect sales. And it does. It affects it negatively. One, you'd only look at the Target backlash, look at the Bud Light backlash, look at all of the games recently that Sweet Baby Inc. has been involved in. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, $200 million loss for Warner Brothers Discovery, report that they are cutting back support for the game, and that it could potentially, there's even a rumor that it could potentially be, Rocksteady could even be shut down. We've seen game developers shut down after hiring Sweet Baby Inc. Mimimo Studio, I think it's like Mimimi Games. And then obviously you can look at the most recent release, Tales of Kinzera Zao. Absolutely terrible player base. Game has been completely crushed, and the sales are no good on that, despite the games director on that trying to spin it that way. But because it does affect sales. This stuff does affect sales, and it affects sales negatively. But as I said, I think the damage to the game has already been done. And we have this here from Bush telling bioware in a developer story focused on him that his false identity as a queer trans woman has been injected into the game. This is what he said. As a queer trans woman, I have a perspective on the games that not everyone has. Dragon Age has long been a place where LGBTQIA+ folks can see people like themselves represented respectfully. It's inherently very queer. And it's such a rare thing for marginalized communities to have representation where we feel proud and powerful in how we are depicted. It's so deeply meaningful for so many. I often get emotional when I think about what it would have meant for a younger version of myself to see someone like her in a game and as a hero, no less. So clearly trying to propagandize to children on this younger version, right? One would assume that it's probably a teenager, young adult, potentially even a child. I hope we can be a safe place for our queer players to know they are not alone, that they are brilliant and worthy, that they are not only welcome, but celebrated. We should not be celebrating this stuff. We should be telling these people that what they're doing is wrong and that they are called to live chaste lifestyles. That is what should be happening. We should be celebrating them when they are living chaste lifestyles, not celebrating them living debaucherous, degenerate lifestyles that are self destructive, because we do not want these people to be self destructive. We don't want them to be destroying themselves, whether that's emotionally, spiritually, or physically. Nevertheless, he goes on and says this, that game directors are sometimes thought of as big personalities who are singularly responsible for the purity of their creative vision. But for me, it's really about being a steward for that vision that we as a team have collectively defined. I get a high level view of everything as it's coming together and can steer the project as it does. So he's clearly steering the project to ensure that this inherently very queer vision is put in place. Nevertheless, he says, but ultimately, it's about empowering people to work together, play with ideas, offer critiques, and make decisions, all to help create a cohesive experience for the player. And I doubt that they actually do that, because there had to have been someone at the team of BioWare that said no to all this nonsense. This stuff is bad news. These character designs that we've got are absolutely terrible. We should not be pushing this stuff. Someone probably had to have said that, or was at least thinking it, and either decided not to say it because they did not feel that BioWare was a good place to do that. That they was not it's not a good place to work and have what does it say? Work together, play with ideas, offer critiques, and make decisions. Doubt that that is actually the case, given the fact that they push this stuff. We know that these people do not do that. They are not. They are not. They are tyrannical, and they want to push their agenda no matter what. That's what they do. I mean, we see the evidence all around us. I mean, they're literally arresting and fining teenagers for quote unquote defacing pride flags that have been painted on roads. It's utterly ridiculous. And people are sick of this stuff. I mean, the game's official reveal trailer was massively disliked. It currently has 205,000 dislikes compared to just 37,000 likes. So if you watched my video the other day, you know that that's an actual huge increase in just 24 hours. The dislikes have increased by 61,000, while the likes have only increased by 6,000. The view counter has only increased by 500,000. So that's still around 12.5% of people who watched the trailer have disliked it. So people are not liking this stuff. And it does. I think Grums is right. It affects sales negatively. We have a ton of evidence of this. People are actively boycotting this stuff. They might not be, maybe actively boycotting is not the right term, but they're soft boycotting it. They are avoiding it. They are choosing not to go out of their way to purchase it. They're finding other things to do with their time and money. But let me know what you guys make of this. Clearly, I think this is an indication that this stuff is negatively affecting the game already. And that is why he has changed this stuff. But unfortunately, I don't think it really matters, because the vision is already in the game. I doubt that they can make enough the changes to actually fix this stuff. And the damage has already been done. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but always speak the truth.